I was in the mood for something Metroid. I mean, we have a new Metroid game coming out in less than a month. And just any excuse to play something Metroid. So, this is the weirdly named Metroid Scroll 6, which is based on Metroid Zero Mission. It is a ROM fan game, I think. Wait, even that you can't really... even that you can't really say, can you? Well, in any case, apparently this one's pretty good, and it's kind of short-ish. Once again, found myself bored and eager to slay a dragon in my effort to quell this desire. Found strange realm with mystical properties. I smell a dragon here, and I shall do what I must to reach it. Samus Aran. Well, still better characterization than Other M. Now, Zero Mission, I think, has probably my favorite Metroid gameplay. As much as I love Super Metroid, I think this may be the pinnacle of how good the gameplay felt. And you'll hear some original music, too. But yeah, Zero Mission's just fucking great. It's phenomenal. I mean, I would recommend anybody play Zero Mission, but Nintendo doesn't make it easy. They really don't, do they? I hope that rumor about Game Boy games coming to the Nintendo Switch is true. I have a feeling it's not. But it will be rather good, especially for people who haven't played so many of these games. The Metroid series right now, the easiest game to play is Super Metroid, which is on the, you know, Switch Virtual Console thing. And it's also on the SNES Classic. But anything else, I mean, Metroid 1 is kind of easy, too, because it's on the same service. But anything else is a little difficult. Oh, so they start you with a bunch of upgrades already. Range and... what? Range? Tomes, range, and mangler. It allows the individual to contort into a ball. I get what it's doing. It's like an Elder Scrolls-ish thing. I mean, you know, given the name of it, clearly, but still, I wasn't expecting that from a Metroid thing. Highest rated Zero Mission ROM hack. Sorry, ROM fan game. Alternate dimension game products. But this and Fusion are fucking great, and I really... Man, Nintendo missed an opportunity by not bringing Fusion over to the Switch so that people can check it out before Dread comes out. Like, people would spend $10 on it. There's a lot of missed... It's funny because Nintendo loves money. They do. They really do. And yet, there's so many opportunities to make even more money that Nintendo just doesn't take. And then when people, like, release the things for free, they take it down. It's like, damn, dude. Just let people play your games. We like them. And yet, weirdly, Konami seems to have a Castlevania collection coming out. The GBA collection. It seems like it's real. It was rated in Taiwan, or wherever. Let's see. I want to double check my sources. Hang on a second. Let us see. Castlevania Game Boy Advance Collection. Yeah. Castlevania Advance Collection rated for PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC in Taiwan. It seems like it was first rated in Australia June 18th, and then again in Korea June 25th. And they listed the game as multi-platform. Weird that it hasn't been announced yet, but that's a solid collection of games. Aria of Sorrow being my favorite, and if you're a fan of Metroid, and that ends up being real, definitely check out Aria of Sorrow at least, if you haven't. Circle of the Moon, I remember liking the music. I remember thinking it was very dark looking, because, you know, GBA screens were so fucking dark they had to overcompensate later on, but at first they didn't do that. So I'm gonna say that I've only played through Circle of the Moon once, and if that collection's real, I will play through it again. Harmony of Dissonance is good. I remember liking the game. The music was just so, like, shitty sounding, because they took... Basically, the graphics were made a little bit better, but the music suffered. So Aria of Sorrow is the best, in my opinion, GBA Castlevania game. Whereas you have some other games later on that maybe even be a little bit better. I don't know, I kind of think Portrait of Ruin on the DS and Order of Ecclesia and Dawn of Sorrow might be on par with Aria of Sorrow. It's hard to choose because they're all good in their own way. And if the touchscreen thing in Dawn of Sorrow is the only thing that makes me, you know, a little bit, like, hesitant, then that's fine, because that game is fucking awesome. I hope they do a DS collection eventually, too. Anyway, the point is, like, the Metroidvania genre, one of the reasons I wanted to do a Metroid thing is because I wanted to talk about the whole thing as, you know, in general. And, I do think that Dread is going to be the best-selling Metroid game. Not that that's a high bar, because I think 3 million units is the highest-selling Metroid game, and for a big Nintendo AAA property, that's kind of low. But it was never really big in Japan, and I feel like it wasn't ever really marketed to the fullest extent. It was definitely marketed. There were cool commercials for Metroid, but I feel like they're going all out with Dread. As they should, because it actually may end up being a really great game that sells very well on the Switch, because the Switch has its own ecosystem of just sale generation. Also, this is, the scummy Metroid atmosphere is not present. It's still good, but there's something about the bright skies that I'm just like, Well, at the very least, it's different. But now you have all these games like Ori, Hollow Knight, Axiom Verge, and like a ton of other indie games that were inspired by Metroid and Castlevania that people are very well aware of and love. And I feel like the market is definitely... And these opinions are, you know, echoed across the internet, so this isn't like an original thing that I'm saying here, but I really think that there's an appetite for this style of game. And it's one of my favorite genres of video game, but I'm glad people are kind of into it and catching up and want to, like, you know, get games like this because they are great. They're satisfying, and Metroid is the progenitor. Metroid progenitor confirmed. Metroid Prime 4 progenitor. So, you kind of have a series that didn't ever really become like this massive hit, but people love Metroid, and there are plenty of dedicated fans. And I think because it never got so huge, there's almost even a little bit more love for it. And now we are on the verge of a major Metroid release, one that, just by the title alone, has people excited, because this is a game that, like, faded away into oblivion. Metroid Prime 6 Oblivion confirmed, which ties in with the Metroid Scrolls 6. Been watching a lot of Norm. Conan O'Brien did a good retrospective on his podcast about Norm. I'd recommend it if anyone was a fan. But anyway, yeah, Metroid Dread, I think, has the potential to really, like, scoop up a lot of sales, because the game looks good. I know people are like, the graphics aren't good. It's like, mate, it looks good. It's on somewhat limited hardware, but I think the art style is very good. And I think, like, even recently, new footage shows improved lighting. I never thought it looked bad, I just thought some of the backgrounds looked a little bit barren and bare, but that's also, like, Samus Returns had the same shit. I'm not saying that, you know, that's necessarily a forgivable thing. It might not be for some, but for me, I'm okay with it. I just think that Metroid should have, like, kind of a dark, dingy atmosphere for the most part, and it looks like it gets that, but also does some different shit, too. Wow, I'm good at Metroid. You see that? That was like pro Metroid expert maneuvers. Well, that was easy. Wow, it's a book. Tome of Focusing. Oh, it's a charge shot, isn't it? Special spell that allows the caster to charge up their main spell, which increases its power. Why all the pretense of the Elder Scrolls? Like, what the fuck? It's pretty good so far, though. It feels like Metroid-ish. And the Zero mission thing, I mean, this is, I think, the Wario Land engine that they modified. And it's just so fucking good for Metroid. It's perfect. And I'm actually surprised there aren't more ROM hacks of this. There's tons of Super Metroid ROM hacks, which there should be, because Super Metroid is worthy of such things. But, I mean, this game engine is tight. So, yeah, so I think Dread does look good, even if some of the backgrounds... And I haven't been spoiling myself. I haven't watched much of the new trailer stuff, because I don't want to have things spoiled. I already had one thing spoiled, like a certain enemy, that I think is really cool, and I didn't want to know that. I want to go in with, like, you know... I want to be surprised. And so I've tuned out of most advertisements and trailers for that game. Because Nintendo is going, like, mental, which is good. I'd rather see more than less, but I don't want to spoil myself on it too much. It's just wild to me that Dread was, you know, was released before, even fucking Prime 4 had a single bit of gameplay revealed. That, to me, is absolutely fucking bonkers. But, again, development restarted with Prime 4. So... I was thinking about doing a run of Metroid, Super Metroid as well. And I'm looking for various, like, things to, like, add to it. Like, same game, but just a couple minor additions, maybe. So, we'll see. I'm not really sure yet, but I'm finishing up Skyward Sword, so I'm gonna have a little bit more time to play things like Gas Station Simulator. And I figured, like, doing some classics, or even just ROM hacks of classics, would be a good thing to occupy my time with, because that's the mood I've been in. Even, like, Link to the Past I've been thinking about a lot lately. I don't want to play that again. Secret. Novice casting improved. Casting. I have to make sure the microphone doesn't get... Yeah. I really need a better, like, foam windscreen for this microphone, but the ones they make are too... The ones they make for microphones this small are too fucking... like, flimsy. too light. They don't do what they need to do. Sucks, man. And I mentioned that I found one of the exact model headset that I have, but it cost, you know, $6, but plus $40 shipping. So I just gave up there. I was like, nah. No, that's a pass for me. Mons. What else? Samus Returns, I think, was good. I think AM2R, with enough time, I would now say AM2R, definitively, in my opinion, is better. But not by a ton. I think people have some, you know, criticism of Samus Returns, and some of it's fair, like, but some of it, I'm like, wait, no, it did a lot of cool shit. Like, I actually think that the free aiming, I thought it worked really well. And I'm a Metroid purist. The counterattack stuff, I think they're refining for Dread, which is good. The gameplay was not a problem for me at all with Metroid Samus Returns. The problem was the game was 2 hours, like, too long. And it got to a point where it was just the same areas, the same corridors, the same caverns, except you would just basically, I don't know, have a different color. It would be red instead of dark blue. So I feel like a little bit of tightening up or just more variety would have really helped that game out. There we go. Now we're in the scummy ice cave. Just perfect. That's where I think AM2R did a really good job. The variety was really cool, but also like the level mechanics. There were some really interesting, like I remember the pipes. There were like tubes that you could, like pneumatic tubes that were really interesting. And for a game like Hollow Knight, which I absolutely adore, even that game just felt too long. Which is weird because I usually want more Metroid, and then when a Metroidvania just keeps going and going and going, I'm like, huh, this feels a little off. Then again, Axiom Verge 2 ended like really abruptly, in my opinion, so it's hard to find that balance, and I'm just one jack-off. You know what I mean? Like amidst the sky, I am one jack-off. Yeah, wall jumping works a little differently in Metroid Zero Mission than Super. Super, it's almost encouraged for you to sequence break with that shit, and then this game, it's a little bit... I mean, you can still sequence break, but it's more restrictive. So Metroid merch, like all the stuff, I'm probably gonna end up getting. Someone was kind enough to offer me. They bought 2 packs of the amiibos, and I kind of really want them. So that said, though, I think I might be able to get them from the Nintendo store. I'm gonna see if I can do that. Tome of Freezing. Oh, okay. Early Ice Beam. But Metroid merch in general, like, it's a little bit harder to find. There's Zelda merch, there's tons of Mario merch. Metroid merch, not so much. There was that beautiful fucking, like, Samus figurine that was like $200 and now it's like $500. But yeah, I'm not getting that anytime soon. I do have a squishy Metroid that is sticky and weird. I don't know how I feel about it. But the merch in general, like I was looking for anything unique and interesting, and there's not a whole lot, which is why I really wanted the amiibo, because it's Samus, it's the Emmy thing, and it's also a unique suit for Samus, so it's something that I think would be kind of neat to check out, to have. Because I have most of the other Metroid amiibo, and I feel like I may as well complete the collection. Also, the best amiibo still is the Metroid hatching from the science tube. There we go. I guess people make stuff on Etsy, though. Like, I did get a cool Chrono Trigger thing. There's always stuff. People, like, have to fill the void of the merch and make their own. And, in terms of Metroid stuff, I hope that this game does well, and it convinces Nintendo to do a little bit more with Metroid. Even if it's just, like, you know, there's a couple new things to buy. You know, I want to consume. Consume. Like a Metroid itself, I wish to consume. Also, Federation Force was not that bad. I said it before, wrong game at the wrong time. But Federation Force, if they did a sequel to that, and made it not chibi, and, like, actually gave it some deeper mechanics, I would play it. But instead of Federation Force, they could call it Hunters Co-op or something, and then have, instead of it being the Federation, you could have all the hunters from the Hunters game, like all the other bounty hunters, working together towards a common goal. And, like, someone could actually play as Samus. And, you know, everyone could have their own unique abilities, and it would be cool, I think. I think it would really work. But, again, it would require Nintendo to, take a risk. Every time they took a risk with the Metroid series, ended up getting kind of weird. Like, you know, I mean, prime example is Other M. The risk there for Other M was very simple. It was, how can we make this appeal more to the Japanese audience? And let's tell a story, and let's try to, like, delve into Samus's mysterious backstory. Which usually doesn't work. But, you know, they tried, and it got real fucking weird. And, actively... I wouldn't say it was a character assassination, but... I'm gonna say that it left Samus with a couple bullet holes in her suit. So what's this level design? What is going on here? All right. Good. Oh. Okay, can't grab onto that. Do I need jump ball? I think I might need jump ball for this. I'm not sure. I might be able to do the first part, but if it gets any worse than this... Because this is not ROM hack difficulty. I always look for that when trying out a new ROM hack. I don't want to play something that was designed for people who are, like, playing this game religiously. I just want to, like, get something maybe a little bit more difficult than the usual experience, but not too much. Alright, well, I kind of got lucky there, I think. Do I have enough HP to, like, take out Kraid? Kinda don't think I do. Maybe there's an energy tank down this way. Energy resources! Could have just gone this way. Alright. I'll see if I can do any damage to Kraid without dying. Mega Kraid. I love that Metroid 1 Kraid was just this small little dude. And someone was like, nah, we gotta make Kraid, like, massive, mate. Shit. Well, that platform has just been fucking pulped. Jesus. Ah! Ah. Yeah. Yeah, this is a little bit early for Kraid. That said, I don't know where more energy resources are, so... Well, anyway, hang on one second. Alright. I'm gonna try that again. Give it a shot. Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. help. Oh, there we go. Alright, I guess I just got enough hits going early on. Let's see, what will the item be? I don't know what that is. Rune 1 of 6. Power of 6 runes will allow access to the beast. I'm sorry, what is this? Is it just nothing? It's not even a real item. Oh, fuck, man. I think people are gonna enjoy, like, people that have never played Metroid are gonna probably enjoy Dread, but again, I really wish there was an easier way for people to go back and experience, like, Zero Mission a little bit more easily, and Fusion. Because if Nintendo made it easier to play those, then that would be good. Because that's the story. I mean, the story is the only thing. I'm sure there's going to be, like, a recap. But Fusion is, like, the main game. That people need to really catch up on. I mean, the whole thing, I'm sure this, you know, this game is going to, like, tie up all the games together. But, yeah, Fusion being the one just before it, it's not that easy to play GBA games, so I really hope that at some point there's a GBA service. The only thing that kind of sucks about the GBA, and I know some people are nostalgic about this, just the music, the sound chip, doesn't do, like, anything for me. Oh, there's... Jeez, that would have helped earlier. There can be good music on the Game Boy Advance, but I don't often think of my favorite soundtracks as being on the system. Like I said, though, I do like the Castlevania ones. And I do applaud the original soundtrack for this. It's like, yeah, not easy to make an original fucking score for a Metroid game. Or any game, for that matter. So here's my ranking. I'm gonna do this now. I'm gonna just, off the top of my head, I'm gonna try to give you my Metroid rankings. Favorite is Super Metroid. And that's also nostalgic reasons. But it is my favorite. It's my second favorite game of all time. So, you know, Super Metroid is very important to me. So that's number 2 on my overall list, but number 1 on my Metroid list. Number 2 would probably be Metroid Prime. And that's a tough choice, too, because I am not 100% sure if I would put Zero Mission above Prime. Because I might. So let's do Prime and then Zero Mission, but they're in very close proximity. Next up would probably be Metroid Fusion, followed by Metroid Prime 2, then AM2R, and Samus Returns. Metroid Prime 3 after that. We're gonna do Metroid 2 and 1. So Metroid... Oh man, I should actually write this down, shouldn't I? Here, you know what? I'm gonna pause. I'll do the thing, just so you can see it visualized. One moment, please. List has been made. So, real quick. Super Metroid is still my favorite. Still a great game, even though I like the controls of Zero Mission slightly better. Metroid Prime is obvious. The transition to 3D was incredible. I can't believe it was pulled off so well. And also, I have some good memories of playing that game for the first time. And I think Prime 2 has some slightly better things going on in it. But I do think Prime 1 is the better game and has a more classic Metroid feel. I think it's great. Zero Mission, I've been obviously talking about that. One of the best remakes ever, and really well done. And just a great introduction to the franchise. Fusion, which plays about the same as Zero Mission, has an interesting plot line, some interesting new directions for the Metroid series, and also a really good follow-up to Super Metroid in regards to like 2D Metroids. It seems impossible, and then it was done. Metroid Prime 2 Echoes I love. Some people give that game shit, but I do think it's a great game. And I actually really like the ammo mechanic. And having just replayed it a couple years ago, I think it is worthy of being played by anyone who loves Metroid. A little bit difficult, but that's good. AM2R is a fucking fan game that I'm putting on my list because it's that good. And also, it I think is the best way to experience Metroid 2. It feels like a Nintendo game. It actually feels like a game Nintendo made. Maybe even a little bit more interesting in some ways than Samus Returns, which is next on my list, which is good, and a pretty good version of the 3D, 2D thing. But, like I said, there's some stuff that I think AM2R did better, and I think Samus Returns loses a little steam by the end. Metroid Prime 3 Corruption is... Well, there's motion controls. For me, they feel shoehorned in because they wanted to make the best use of the Wii and have people, like, you know, put their arm cannon into a switch and turn it. And, you know, some of that stuff is annoying. Some of the overworld stuff where, like, not overworld, but, like, there's different planets that you can fly to, I thought was cool. But it is very un-Metroid-y. And I feel like the game is too easy. But the controls, like actually pointing at the screen, it's a bit of a contradiction because I don't love the motion controls, but the pointing is good. And some of the things, like some of the upgrades are cool, and some of the suits look cool. It's a solid game. I think it's actually really good. It's not terrible by any means. Just not my favorite Metroid Prime. I struggled with Metroid 1 and 2. I wasn't sure which one would be next on the list, but I'm going to put Metroid 1 because I played hours and hours and hours of it trying to find glitches, new rooms, new secrets. I couldn't even believe when I found the wave beam for the first time, years after having the game. It's very dated, but it plays, and it plays kind of poorly, but it has a lot of cool stuff in it, and it really set the tone for an entire genre. And I feel like Metroid 1 is tough for people to play now, but some people may really get into it, and I think it's still good. I think it's still very good. Metroid 2, some people think is better than the remakes because of the atmosphere, and that's what I like about it. Samus was slightly, like the arsenal was expanded a bit, and it set the tone for what the future of the series would be, and also the box art is what Samus still kind of looks like to this day. So Metroid 2 is actually pretty good, even if it's very limited by its hardware. It's still a really great game, and it scared the shit out of me. It's probably the scariest Metroid game, either that or I was just bad. Prime Hunters is only low on the list because the single player is very, like, stock standard, rinse and repeat, shoot, shoot, shoot. And also because the original games I have more nostalgia for, and also I think they're, you know, as 2D games, there's a lot of the Metroidvania stuff that I like that is missing from Hunters. That said, the multiplayer in Hunters is really great. The character introductions are really great. And it played fairly well for a DS game. It looked really good, too. Cool concept. I wish they made another one. I really do, because Prime Hunters is, I think, a really phenomenal game in its own way. Federation Force, like I said, not terrible. Federation Force is a pretty... It's a pretty decent co-op multiplayer shooter. But the name Metroid being on there, after having been absent for so long, pissed a lot of people off. Especially the like, really awkward character designs, and not being able to play as Samus. It was just unfortunate. But not terrible, just unfortunate. And then I have Other M, which I've spoken about. Aside from the character assassination stuff I mentioned, Other M doesn't really work for me, because you're stuck in a space station, but unlike Fusion, it feels really, like, forced. And I feel like the whole "you're not authorized to do this" thing just makes Samus way less cool. And aside from all that, the controls were very awkward because they were forced onto a single Wiimote. And using a D-pad, a tiny D-pad in a 3D space, it's like, god damn it, was that Nintendo's decision? Because that game would be so much better with a nunchuck and you know... Or just a regular-ass fucking controller. It would have been fine with a regular-ass controller. And then stopping entirely to do a first-person missile was not fun at all. That said, still not a terrible game. Like, you could kind of get into it, and there was some Team Ninja style in there that I thought was cool, even if it didn't feel very Metroidian. It's okay. It's just okay. But for me, the laughable cutscenes and the voice acting, they tried their best, but the direction just felt, like, really flat. And again, just the attempt at a storyline. The babby, the babby, the babby, the babby, the babby. Oof. It's just such a shame. And that killed the Metroid series for many years. I mean, we're still feeling the consequences. We're still feeling the consequences of that game's failure, considering it's been like a decade. Over a decade. And we're just now getting the next entry into the series that isn't a remake or Federation Force. And I know historically Metroid hasn't sold like the most amazing numbers for Nintendo, but it sells. And I think this is going to, like I said, it's going to sell even better. But yeah, it's just real unfortunate, because the disdain for that game, I think, was heard loud and clear. And, there's two of them. This looks like an enemy from Chrono Trigger. There we go. Cloak of Wisdom. It's the Varia suit. But no, it's the Cloak of Wisdom. And a rune. Two of six. Oh, I have two of them, right, I see. And before you ask, and I'm not even live, but no, I've never played Metroid Prime Pinball, which is a shame. And maybe one day I will. Maybe I'll finally check out Metroid Prime Pinball. Feels like the right time for it. I know if I played Prime Pinball, my list would be number 1, Metroid Prime Pinball. You know, and I'm just trying to avoid that. I don't want it to be my favorite game of all time, because then I have to, you know, actually, like, find a physical copy of it, and because of how, people are taking advantage of classic games and charging, like, 10 times and trying to manipulate the market so that a few people can get very, very wealthy off of, like, old games that normally would cost, like, $100 as opposed to, like, 10,000. You know, the same people that manufactured, like, coin shortages and stuff, apparently, or something, coin, value increasing. By the way, I have some wonderful coins if anyone wants to buy them. $10,000. I actually do have a collection of rare coins. I have some good ones, too, but I inherited them. But yeah, there's a whole thing there. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do it. So my favorite non-Metroid game that is a Metroidvania is still Castlevania Symphony of the Night, which, again, I'm really just being a broken record here. Everyone has heard me say this if you've watched my stuff, but for the new people, if there are any, I'm gonna tell you that Symphony of the Night is way too easy, but also a genuinely phenomenal game from an from an artistic standpoint and from a musical standpoint, and I think the gameplay is really great. It's just, like I said, kind of easy, but doesn't ruin the game for me by any means. In fact, I still think it is the best homage to the Metroid series, but also deserves its place because it does some things like, you know, having a whole system where you can get, like, RPG elements in a Metroidvania was pretty unique for the time. Works great. I mean, works a little too great, which is where the Castlevania collection I talked about earlier comes in, because they tried to balance that out a little bit, and I think Circle of the Moon is a pretty good fusion of the classic style plus the new style of Castlevania, and same for Harmony of Dissonance. Even if they're not my favorites, I think that they got, like, the difficulty more or less right, even if they are kind of extra hard, from what I remember. But it wasn't until the DS that I think we got a really great fusion. I think Order of Ecclesia is maybe the best in that regard. It has the Castlevania elements, it has the RPG element, but you're not cheesing things out as easily as you would have. Like, the cheese ability for Dawn of Sorrow and Aria of Sorrow is definitely there, because you can absorb souls and just, like, kind of grind. Order of Ecclesia stays difficult through most of it, and it's, like, a really good challenge, and yet it's not undercooked. What I mean by that is it feels like it's well thought out, and not just, well, the character's gonna get overpowered, so, you know, whatever. It's like, no, the character, the player is going to get overpowered because that's what happens in these games. So let's continue ramping up the difficulty and creating intelligent, like, boss fights. Fucking phenomenal game that is. And Hollow Knight was just like, hey, why don't we make the player, have a fucking ulcer? Which I'll admit frustrated me on several occasions, but boy, that game was fun and rewarding once you finally kind of got it. I always loathe to bring up Dark Souls because it's become a meme.
Like, it's as hard as Dark Souls.
But I think you kind of can't deny the whole Hollow Knight thing was Metroidvania plus some Dark Souls mechanics, like the bonfire mechanic in particular, and the difficulty. It feels like that, to me. it wouldn't let me get up there, so I'm just gonna come back here if I need to. Bomb jumping in this game is actually really, really good. Some might say a little too easy. And it is, but I think it's just much more fun. Ooh. That explains that. Map completion. But yeah, Nintendo doing some decent stuff this year. Have some things to look forward to aside from Metroid Dread, and I do wonder where Dread will end up sitting on my list. And it's usually something that takes a little bit of time. You can't usually immediately say, like, oh, this is going to be one of my favorite games ever, because when I was playing Breath of the Wild, and I was really getting into it, it was kind of becoming one of my favorite games. And on my list, which, if you give me a moment here, I actually just saw it, my top 100 games list, I have Link to the Past, Majora Ocarina, Wind Waker, above Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild was like number 37 on my list. And that was a list I made maybe, what, a year ago, right? So that would probably move up or down. Breath of the Wild is still a game that, it is a game, but I'd actually recommend it to most people, because I love that game, and I think it is an experience, and it's also something that you can kind of go in with the zero Zelda experience, and even kind of not too much video game experience, and just explore, and just feel the amount of, like, time and love that was put into that game. But, you know, is it my favorite Zelda game? No. It might be my favorite open world game, maybe. And it would definitely, be in my top 20 if just it was a little bit more of an even experience in regards to, like, dungeons and shit. But, it's still a game that I think is just fucking phenomenal. So maybe Dread will come out, it'll be great, and then, you know, like a month later I'll have something different to say about it, or like 2 months later. So WarioWare ended up being good. Short, but, you know, again, that's not the point of WarioWare. The point of WarioWare is to spend, you know, a decent amount of time really unlocking everything and like enjoying the challenges. So WarioWare ended up being good. Mario Party, you know, I want the Mario Party game, and I'm gonna get it, because I do like me some Mario Party. And it's cool that it's returning to a more classic style with, you know, the best mini-games, which they've done already, yes, but I'm gonna get it. I mean, even just as a streamer slash tuber, I do feel it's important for me to check out Mario Party. People like my Mario Party stuff. I like playing it. I like showing it off. I like seeing if it's any good. I have not played every Mario Party. There were several that I don't have. But, you know, this one looks like it'll be at least competent and good. And I look forward to maybe having a multiplayer night at some point. I always say I'm going to do that and then I don't, but, you know, would be cool. So I have to go up that way. I just want to open that door with the super missiles. Even though I have a feeling it's just going to be regular missiles or more super missiles. But that's fine. It all helps. I have a Zero mission on my SNES Classic. That's right. I'm not going to tell you how, but I will tell you it is possible. I'm sure most of you already know about this, but it is a thing you can do. The only problem I have is that some of the ROM hacks I have on there do not work. But Zero Mission works great. Now I have to see what's in this room here and hope it was worth my time. Knew that was gonna happen. Okay. So how the fuck do I get out of this room now? Oh, I just go through the room. Like this. Okay, I thought I needed power bombs to get out of here. Alright, well. Again, it all helps. And then, aside from Mario Party, there's also Advance Wars Remake. Which, again, for the life of me, I don't understand why people think that that game doesn't look good. I think it looks good for what it is, it's just I'm not crazy about the portraits. More than good for what it is. I think it fits the Advance Wars style, like, pretty nicely. Again, I'm just hoping that we reveal that there are more features revealed. Maybe some new challenges, some new campaign missions, level editor with online sharing that doesn't require a fucking code like Game Builder Garage would be cool. So, who knows? And then, Battlefield was delayed. Which, I'm actually really interested in that Battlefield game, but now it comes out at the same time as Duty, which I, for some reason, usually get a key for, and I'm not complaining. And yes, Monkey Ball, I didn't mention specifically. I would like to mention one thing about Monkey Ball. I don't know if I'm allowed to reveal this, but I'm going to anyway. Monkey Ball is getting patches before it is even out. There's 2 day 1 patches. One already... Okay, both of them are being published the day of release. And they're just fixing some issues and some bugs and some text display corrections, player names being displayed, etc., right? But my favorite fix is this one. Eye's cowlick can occasionally clip out of his hat while playing with a cap hat type cosmetic and a non-default ball. Let me read that again because I read that like shit. Eye's cowlick can occasionally clip out of his hat while playing with a cap/hat type cosmetic in a non-default ball. Thank God they're fixing that. I mean, what would we have done? What would we have done? Hang on a second. Alright. So now, guess we're gonna go up to those super missile doors. Yes, the super missile doors it is. I mean, advanced casting. But yes, Duty and Battlefield coming out in the same month. And Halo, not too long after. And I've been in a shooting mood. I've been, you know, I was playing Quake Champions, and I even booted up Splitgate, which I have some weird issues with that game's performance. Like, it just takes over my monitor and keeps trying to, like, reset itself. It's bizarre. It really, something is not working correctly with that game. And the frames get real crusty and weird, which is, again, there are no problems like that with Quake. So I don't know. Strange. But Splitgate's cool. I just think that we're getting every shooter all at once, and how do we even shoot that much? And I like to shoot. I want to shoot more, and not play Babby games entirely, but am I gonna, like, have time for all this shoot? I just don't know. But Battlefield did get delayed a little bit, and that sucks. Sphinx is pissed about that. If I'm not mistaken, Sphinx and I played Battlefield 1. Not like the original, I'm talking about the World War I Battlefield. That might have been like one of the first times I played video games with that dude. I forget. But yeah, he's a big Battlefield fan, and I used to be. I fell off. I mean, I used to be in the sense that I played the original and Battlefield Vietnam and Bad Company 2, and those were all good. And then Battlefield 1. Didn't play Battlefield 2, didn't play 2049 or whatever, 2047? It's not Blade Runner Battlefield 2049. And I most certainly did not play whatever released last time. That was like... That was a thing. That was an ordeal, wasn't it? I'm pass on that one. And there were more reasons that people didn't like that game. Like, I heard endless complaints about it for so many different reasons that weren't just because of a weird trailer. Also, I really hope Halo's single player is good, because that is something I would like to enjoy. Multiplayer shooters are great. They're all well and good, but man... Sometimes I just want to go through a fucking single player, like... Interesting music here. Sometimes I just want to go through a single player first-person shooter. What's this crap? This sounds like a Bizarro Red Tower. But yeah, single-player first-person shooters like Half-Life. I was gonna say Half-Life before saying first-person shooter. Single-player Half-Lifes are very good. Every first-person shooter from thenceforth shall be known as a Half-Life, like a Xerox, or back in the day when my parents thought that every video game was a Nintendo. But Half-Life has my favorite single-player of any first-person shooter, and I love the progression of just getting weapons and going to different levels, different areas. Like, even Quake, it's just a mishmash of different dimensions and shit, but it's satisfying, it's fun. Doom, love single-player first-person shooters. I'm so happy they focused on that with Doom Eternal. But I do like a good multiplayer session. I think, I've said it before, but original Doom 2016 had your stock standard multiplayer with all the usual modes that you'd come to expect. God damn it. And I thought it was pretty good. Didn't blow anyone away, but... you know, that's why we have our battlefields. For the multiplayer stuff. So yes, please, Halo, have a good single player. I mean, hell, even Call of Duty Vanguard. It would be cool if it had a good single player. Despite me not playing very much of Modern Warfare single player. Which I regret, because that was enjoyable. And I tried doing, the most recent Black Ops single player, and it was fine. It was fine. I know people like that one, and also maybe even liked it better than the multiplayer. But for some reason, man, I just can't get through Call of Duty single players anymore. I used to. Now, I just kind of turn them off. Play for a little while, and then just... alright. Play Mario or something. Mario. Eradication. Purify the world around you. Huh. That was satisfying. I like these rooms that reset your challenge. Like, you just get, like, respawned when you fail, as opposed to having to climb back up. That is fine by me. Wow. Go. I keep considering the album top 50 albums of all time list. It's been on my mind. I think soon I will do it. And I don't, like, even enjoy making lists. Like, I don't even make a shopping list. But when it comes to this stuff, yeah, it's like, yeah, it's kind of fun. We are giving you no margin of error here. There we go. It's like a series of little challenge rooms using the items that you get. There's an item in there. Or is there? Huh. There's an item on the mini-map. Oh. Good. Whoa! What was that? Oh, I needed to use the morph ball. God damn it. What's weird about me doing a top 50 album list is that I don't even really know what my favorite album of all time is. Like, I can tell you what my favorite movie is, I can tell you what my favorite game is. I don't know if I have a... Like, I don't know if I can clearly and easily define a favorite album. There have been different contenders. And I'd really have to think about that. Like, what do I put in the #1 spot? I mean, you can imagine what artists would go in there. You know, like Juice WRLD and that kind of stuff. Clearly, if you know me, you know that I'll love me some Juice WRLD. The game, which then became like Juice Galaxy or something. I forgot about this boss entirely. I also have the fast forward button on my controller, and I forgot about it, so that's why every now and then things get kind of crusty. Skip ahead a bit. Some pretty nasty damage. Shit. Okay, so missiles don't work. I think I just have to kind of just regular attacks, but quickly. Maybe even a little bit more effective than charge shots. Kinda hard to avoid that lightning. All you have to do is move left or right. Wow, who would have thought? Ooh. Oh my god. Shit. Again. Staying still or like firing that makes the lightning appear, I wonder? Firing at nothing? I'm not really sure. There is some causality on my part, but I don't know what it is. Missiles really don't work, huh? Normally you could just brute force this, you know, because you just have, like, broken weapons and shit, but here, not quite as easy, is it? Right. Oh no, one more hit already? Dodging and aiming at the same time. Nah. Time to farm nuggets of health. I feel like finding a better beam would be good for this, but I'm already here, so it's a little too late. That's like one extra hit. Let's see if I've got the pattern down.
Oh, yeah, jump into the sphere and take damage. Yo!
Such a weird boss fight. You just can't stay still. Also notice the Chozo's power armor. Same type of pauldrons. Take my time with this one. This one shoots lightning just regardless. Wait, unless there's causality to this too. No, it just likes to shoot. The window of opportunity is very small. Ah, yes, very nice indeed. Yeah, this kind of sucks. Oop, wrong button. I meant to do missile. I want to see if missiles work again. Nope, they don't. And what was the point of me playing through that when I was taking that much damage? Son of a bitch. I think because of the open-ended nature of this particular ROM hack, you could get a better beam and more HP, more energy before you get here. Except how I didn't know. I had no idea this was gonna be like this. Fucking lightning. Motherfucker. All right. Ooh. The old spicy Imperial.
Yeah. Ooh. Ooh.
Great fall noise. Keep forgetting. I really just, like, forget that you can't stay still even for a second. I never knew this was this relentless. I would assume this is just the vanilla boss too. It could be. It might not be. I don't know what was like changed for this fight because I just don't remember this fight very much. I don't remember ever having this level of issues with it. Gun was facing the wrong goddamn way. We'll go again. Sorry the commentary has stopped, but if I try to talk during this, it's going to be even worse. It's unbelievable. One, two, three. 1, 2. 8 hits so far. Well, that doesn't really count because some of these are charged and some aren't. The window for shooting in the 4th phase is so low. and then, like, your shots are, like, not even fast enough to hit when it's available to be hit. Sure haven't hit it in a while. I'm not sure if spamming shots makes it shoot more at me. Oh, double lightning. Fuck you! You just kind of have to get lucky or preempt the lightning or the thing becoming vulnerable. Fuck, I got lucky. I got lucky. Holy shit. That's like final boss worthy. I'm going to save. I just wanted to make sure that door didn't fucking lock. So this seems like a good point to stop, truthfully, because I would like to make some dinner. And, I thought I might be able to knock this out in one sitting. But instead, after that, I'm gonna need a break. And it seems like we're about halfway through collecting the runes. Runes. Which means maybe another hour to an hour and a half. So we'll do a two-parter. It is good. That became ROM hack level difficulty simply because I was in the wrong place. Or the right place, but just underpowered. I missed some other pickups. Space. I'll get to one more save point. There it is. Good enough. Alright, so that's Metroid Scrolls 6. And it's pretty good. That boss fight was a challenge. But is rewarding. I mean, I didn't even, like, get much of a reward, but it felt good to defeat it, finally. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening to my Metroid talk. Very excited for Metroid Dread. And, I hope it'll be good. So I'll finish this soon, and we'll talk more Metroid. Goodbye. Samus squares off against the orange. Look how cool this is. No. There it is. Wait, I think I can do this. Let's see. Can I do this? I'm gonna add a filter. It's so different than XSplit, so I'm trying to figure this out. I did it. The ice beam worked on the orange. And people pay for this shit if they want to. It's optional, but some people do. Mental.